started working at sleep trains, selling mattresses until waiting to get into the apprenticeship because I didn't really know how to become a groundman and those type of things because all this was new to me. So I'm kind of learning everything on the fly. One thing I learned from sleep train was how to talk to people, how to deal with different people, and how to turn it on and off. Every job I applied for, I got. And then that's when I really started understanding it's your energy. It's not you. The energy you bring in and around people is going to affect how people see you. Definitely. And I really believe that, and I was seeing it work. Because when I went and interviewed for sleep training, you figure every application that I put in, I had to put on there attempted murder. It was like jaywalking. It was like, what did you do? You know, they said, they got the box that says mark felony, yes or no, but then they asked, well, what did you do? You know, and I got to put attempted murder, you know, or A187 to try to act like, you know, hopefully they didn't catch it. So I remember Mike, dude's name was Mike Flores, a good friend of mine at sleep training, interviewed me. So he's interviewing me, and Mike's like big energy, like, well, tell me about yourself, Will. And I'm like, talking to him. And man, we was just talking like regular guys. And he's like, oh, attempted murder. Okay. All right, man. Hey, Will, I liked your interview, and I'm going to get in contact with you. He called me later that, hey, you got the job. And I remember him telling me, he's like, you know, a guy from Princeton came in before you and interviewed because of the economy. But he was dry, man. He's real dry. I like you, man. And I remember going through a 2-week training class to sell mattresses. But every day you would come in, they would have you doing all these crazy projects and different things that it was fun, but it like really brought you outside of yourself. And one thing that stuck with me was he said, I don't care what kind of day you having, what you going through, when you walk through these doors, you got to be showtime. And we would do like mock sales. They would actually have us selling stuff on the floor, and you have to be showtime, smiling, hey, welcome to sleep train. And it seemed real corny, but it worked. I learned a lot from sleep training. Like me, I learned from every experience in my life. And so I always look at sleep training. People always say, well, oh, you're selling mattresses. And I say, dude, if I wasn't working at sleep training, I don't think I would have gotten to the apprenticeship because it taught me how to do showtime. Because once they come in with an attitude, and you like, oh, what's up? Then it goes on. You're like, hey, man, how you doing? Hey, man, you look like you having a good night's sleep. Oh man, you know, I'm going through this. Oh man, tell me about it. You know, you start seeing dudes opening up or people in general. So one day a lineman comes in, a dude named Kevin Kessler comes in with his wife to my job. And this was at a site I don't even work at. I was filling in for somebody else. So he comes in and he has some transformers on his back. And I was like, oh, you got some transformers on your back. He's like, how you know that? I was like, I went to school for line work. He's like, well, what are you doing here? And I was like, man, I'm trying to get in. He's like, well, you know, JTC's finna start interviewing. And I was like, well, what is that? And he told me, he's like, well, here's my number, call me. I called him, he told me what to do. That week I went and did everything, submitted my paperwork, and that's how I got the interview. When I went in to interview for JTC, I had it all set up. My mom, I'm going there, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna do this, and they're gonna be impressed. And I prayed, and going there, and so I get to going talking, and one of the dudes, it's 3 dudes, and then another guy sitting here, director, and he's like, what were you doing before this? And I'm like, I was in prison for 6 years, attempted murder. And that's when it was like, they all sat back, and I said, yeah, you know, but all that prepared me for where I am now. You know, I said, right now I sell mattresses. I got my permit. I use the money from there to get my tools, my equipment. I said I wrote a book, and one dude's like, you wrote a book? I'm like, yeah, I wrote a book. I work with the youth, this, and this. And their whole energy changed. And I knew right then and there, because 2 of the guys, they were just like looking at me, and they was just like, I could just see it. They was like, man, we gonna get this guy a chance. And you understand, I didn't have any experience. Didn't have my Class A license. All I had was a certificate. So it's 2 ways with the apprenticeship. You either get a low number, which puts you higher on the list, or they can give you like 800, which basically means you never getting in, and you got to come back every year and re-interview. Or they can give you an automatic indenture, which they basically never do. So I interviewed Wednesday. I had a letter Saturday, automatic indenture. Like you start basically in 2 weeks. So I gave 2 weeks notice in my job, and I was in the apprenticeship. And that's where the real journey started.